On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to gameshowmarathon.com.
You've tuned in to the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
You realize what you've done?
With Rich Liebig.
The real gangster plays his cards, right?
And Michael Costanzo.
What was that you just read?
Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news.
Good times, noodle salad.
The point is, you now have the ability to be happy.
And now, here's Rich and Mike on the Crispy Noodle Podcast.
Woo! Yeah! How you guys doing?
What's up, everybody?
It is time for this week's episode of the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. We've got sports, we've got entertainment, we've got odd news to talk about on this week's episode. So come along for the ride. Let us be the perfect meal for your mind as we cover the hottest topics in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news each and every week. I'll just, I think you could kind of guess what we're going to talk about, though, this week. The draft just ended, so we'll definitely talk about that in just a bit. We're going to talk about Last of Us, and then a couple of other things as well. So stay tuned for all that lovely news discussion. But before we get into all of that, Mikey, my friend, how are you doing? How is Costanzo country?
Doing pretty good. It was a busy weekend this weekend, actually. The avalanche of April birthdays and events
Yes.
continued. I had my dad's birthday, nephew's birthday.
Oh, it was Frank's birthday. Yeah,
yep.
I totally forgot about it. Yeah, we got to salute the man himself. Sausages! Yes.
That's right.
So was he... He's a fickle mind. Sometimes he wants sausages, sometimes he doesn't want sausages. Was this a sausage day or not sausage day?
It was a no sausage day.
No sausages. No sausages. No sausages. Sausages!
So
yeah, it was no sausages.
He's like a weird Puxatawny Phil.
Right. He pops up and it's either sausages or no sausages.
Yes.
But it was a no sausage day. That's because what he wanted was to have like a big traditional Italian Sunday dinner, even though it wasn't on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, who won it?
But no, it's fantastic. But I was like, you know what? I want to try my hand at making the whole thing. So I did. I did it all. I made homemade meatballs, homemade sauce, the whole 9 yards.
You pulled a Clemenza.
I pulled a Clemenza. I had it simmering all day, and
Never know when you're gonna have to cook for 20 guys. There you go. This was the day.
I made enough food for 20 guys. I rolled out, I think it was like 40 some meatballs and big pot of pasta.
Some sausage. Daddy, would you like some sausages? Daddy, would you like some sausage? Sausages.
But no sausages.
No sausages. Although you could have asked them that.
We honestly, though, so I don't know about your family, but the way my family always did it, we always had the sauce with meatballs, sausage, and the pork short ribs in there. But we forgot to take the sausage out, so we didn't.
Oh.
So it was only meatballs and the pork short ribs.
Where are the sausages?
Yeah, there you go. What the hell's happening there, Mike?
It
Who
happens.
said you'd bring me sausages? I don't see no sausages.
No, we forgot the
That's
sausages.
actual audio from the day.
That's my dad right there.
Yeah, what the hell happened there?
I don't know.
Who said you'd bring me sausages? I don't see no sausages.
But, so sausage snafu aside, that was good. And I also went to Delaware to check out the Blue Rocks play.
Yes.
Which was fun. I've never been to see a Blue Rocks game. I've actually, when I stopped and thought about it, I'd never been to actual Delaware. Like, I've been through Delaware plenty of times, but I've never stopped in the state of Delaware to do something.
Yeah. There's a lot to do. Lots to do in Wilmington.
Apparently there is. I just always drive straight through it on my way to other places. But yeah, stopped in Delaware, checked out the Blue Rocks.
Yeah, how did you like your Blue Rocks game? I've been to a couple of those.
It was interesting. They have this celery thing.
Yeah, the dancing celery.
I had to go to the team shop and get myself a little celery pen. I was like, I need something to commemorate this. It was.
We've talked. That's on the Odd News intro.
It is.
You've seen the celery. You've now
You've
officially seen the celery
oh my
dance.
God, you're right. Yes,
on the baseball field.
I have seen the celery dance on. I thought there'd be more celery dancing. Honestly, he doesn't really dance all that much. I was waiting for him to do like Philly Fanatic type stuff, but all he did was run out, play his pickaxe like a guitar, and then he runs back into his little hidey hole. I don't.
Did they not score a whole lot? Because I think he only comes out when he hits a home run or something.
Nobody. It was a pitiful game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how the Blue Rocks normally are. No offense to Blue Rocks, but they were.
They weren't doing too good.
It's funny because Jordan's like, what separates like the minor leagues from the major leagues? And then they actually started playing, and it was like overthrown balls.
Yeah, this is why.
People were like jogging to base. They were like, do I want to? I guess, yeah, I guess I'll go to the next base. Some guy hit like a line drive out in the outfield. The guy on third just stood there watching and waiting. I'm like, why?
Whoa, that was a good hit.
Why are you not running? He just stood there. And I'm like, okay. The guy hit.
What was it, 2 outs?
I don't remember the exact.
Because if there's no or 1 out,
no,
you have to be careful.
No, he should have run. It was a single. The batter made it on base, so third could have made it home easily.
Oh, so it was more like a line drive.
Yeah, it was out there. It dropped.
Oh, okay.
And he just stood there and watched it. I'm like,
ooh, that was a good hit.
It's like, okay, I guess we're just not scoring anymore then today.
That was a good hit, Bob.
No, it was a good time though. It was a good time. Got my ballpark food, hot dogs, corn dogs. Oh, that's the best part about baseball. Is just going for the food.
And when you go to a minor league team, the prices are much more reasonable.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I was shocked at how relatively cheap everything was.
Yep.
I mean, a hot dog was still $5, but if this had been in like Citizens Bank Park or don't even get me started on like going to the link for an Eagles game, it was like $30 for a cheesesteak and a water.
Yeah.
It's absurd.
Yeah. So now you do get the benefit of cheaper concessions.
Yeah, no, it was a really, and not only that, but it was like a beautiful weekend.
I have
so
a Blue Rocks baseball hat.
Do you really?
Yeah, sometimes I wear it. Yeah, I bust it out. Yeah.
It was fun. It was a nice little, trip down there, and yeah, just a really pleasant weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that
would recommend.
Yeah, definitely. And they're right there, right around the corner.
Yeah.
But that's what I did. What did you get up to?
Well, for me, being a Ghost fan, this was a big weekend. This was the release of Ghost's new album, Skeleton. There was a midnight listening party that happened at Rock and Roll Knife Fight in Delco. So
what a name!
I had to go there and show my support.
So did you listen to the whole album there? Like, what is a midnight listen party?
Yeah. So basically, we all showed up like around 11 o'clock, and we were all just hanging out, and they were playing like they were playing the couple albums that led up to Skeleton beforehand, and then after midnight, you could collect your pre-order for vinyl or CD or tape,
Nice.
which is funny. Still sell tapes.
Did you get any of the above?
I got the vinyl.
Nice.
Yeah. And then while you were waiting in line because it was after midnight, then they were playing Skeleton over the loudspeakers.
That's cool.
And it was cool. It was, and boy, it might have been a little local event for us, but people still dressed up. People still put on the skull face paint, and some had the masks on, and
longtime fans of the show will be familiar with some of the garb that fans put on because we had Ghoul BC.
Yeah.
Way back when on the show.
Yeah, that's right. Ghoul BC was the tribute band. Yeah, we had them in here, which was hilarious. They showed up in like their full regalia,
full costume.
Yes, in your kitchen. That was great.
That was something else.
It was a great time to be with other people that love the same music you do, and it's something you don't really see anymore. There's not a whole lot of midnight premieres anymore.
Yeah,
they used to do it for movies. You know, when the Star Wars prequel trilogy was out, that's what I did.
Absolutely. I remember going to the Harry Potter midnight,
Yeah.
the movies and the books. How's
Yeah.
that for a deep cut?
Yeah,
Did you go to any of the book midnight releases? That was always fun.
I don't know. I don't think I did anything for the books. I know I did for a couple movies. I don't know if I did for the books.
Yeah, but you're right. There are no more midnight release. They used to do them for like video games and stuff too.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore.
Everything's digital.
Yeah.
Movies are on Netflix. Music is on iTunes or Spotify or what have you. Video games, it just appears on your console on release day. Yeah.
Well, Ghost, Tobias Forge and Ghost, they were trying to do something different and go back to an olden day tradition, and I think we pulled it off. I think it was a nice showing.
And the next album, you're going to pre-order cassette.
Yeah. Go back. You know, it shouldn't be the next step.
And then what is it, 8-track? Before
yeah,
that?
right.
Yeah.
You should do 8-track. Yeah, why not?
And then you're going to get a wax cylinder.
Ooh, yeah. Excuse me, I have
all 45 seconds of audio. No, that's really cool though. That's awesome that you got a chance to go do that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then got to listen to the album, which I am enjoying. It definitely leans more towards the 80s rock, hair metal, pop
side,
but you know
what?
Prequel.
That sound is that's the stuff right there.
Yeah.
Like I've been listening to it too, and I'm like, this is right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean that's not a knock on it. That's you know, I think that's just the direction of the band. I think you go back and forth kind of. Impero was very heavy on the guitar, and now it's going back to the other side. So I think it's like a pendulum, if you will.
Yeah.
And I'm enjoying it. And now the thing is, now I can't wait to see them in July. They're coming to Philly.
Oh, that's right, they are.
Yeah, Wells Fargo Center. Yep, they will be there.
They're moving on up.
Yes, they are.
I remember we saw them in Hershey,
Yep.
and now they're selling out the bigger arenas.
Yep.
Pretty soon they're going to be at the Link, man.
Yep, there you go.
Those tickets are going to be $500 a pop.
Yeah, then I can't afford it. Oh.
Yeah.
But at the same time, though, it's great to see a band that I love just have so much success. So that's what I did this weekend. That was my big thing.
Nice.
All right, but there were other major happenings, of course, and the big one we got to get to in the sports world is the NFL draft. So let's launch into it with the Sports Sampler.
So you're not good at sports. It's a very small part of life.
Sports. In your face. Ha ha!
That's right, sports coming at you in your face, and let's talk the draft. Let's talk about the national story. Just everybody was following this. Everybody loves a train wreck.
Oh, boy.
And this was what the NFL draft provided with the Shedeur Sanders slide.
Oh, boy.
You love the alliteration there.
I do. I love it. And I love the drama as well. It was a big story leading up to the draft, where this kid would go. So for those not in the know, Shedeur Sanders is the son of Deion Sanders, NFL Hall of Fame cornerback. He was quarterback for Colorado, and a lot of people had him ranked somewhere in the top 10 before the draft. As we approached the draft, a lot of reports started coming out that, you know, a lot of talent evaluators didn't like the fact that he would do this weird, like, double clutch patting motion of the football right before he went to throw. Like, imagine, like, giving the football a little slap before you go to throw it. They didn't like that. They didn't like his processing of the routes developing, just like a lot of these little knocks against him, to where the talk started to become, well, maybe he'll fall out of the top 10, but probably still a round one quarterback. So the night of the draft, everybody's talking about it. Mel Kiper Jr. would not shut up about it. That guy's so annoying.
Yeah, Mel Kiper did not have a good draft this year.
Oh, God. He was like a raving madman about Shedeur Sanders. He had him as like his top prospect of all in the history of all sports ever played anywhere in the Milky Way galaxy. But, you know, top 10 comes and goes. Shedeur Sanders isn't there. Cam Ward taken number 1 overall.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
No brainer there, quarterback. Then we get a relatively quiet, long first round. No other quarterbacks taken until New York jumps back into the first And then everybody's like, okay,
Is this the spot?
this is the Shedeur Sanders spot, because obviously New York is one of the teams that needs a quarterback. They go Jackson Dart at the end of the first round. At that point, I'm like, okay, this kid's going to fall hard. Because at that point, all the teams that needed quarterbacks had gone through their first round and no sign of him. So now you're thinking they clearly don't want him as the next option at quarterback. They have other plans cooking. And sure enough, second round comes and goes. Third round comes and goes. Fourth round comes and goes. Fifth round finally taken by the Cleveland Browns.
I'm in the dark here.
But that wasn't even the Browns' first quarterback taken. They had taken another quarterback in the third.
Yeah.
So to really put this into perspective, Shedeur Sanders was formerly a top 10 prospect, slid not just out of the top 10, not just out of the first, but all the way to the fifth. He was the sixth quarterback taken, the second quarterback taken by the team that selected him.
Yeah, which is an interesting way to draft.
A curious way to draft, but the Browns don't make any sense. But really the moment that I knew that he was in trouble was during the draft coverage. They would show all the different players and their families at their respective gatherings. And they show Shedeur Sanders at his father's multi-million-dollar mansion, hundreds of people in attendance, with his branding legendary, $sign squared, his own logo. He's like launching his brand. He has this whole room set up that's like custom painted, custom furniture to give his post-draft interview in. And I was like,
he had to wait a long time to give that interview.
oh boy, yeah. But I saw that party and I'm like, that is a level of hubris that needs correcting.
Oh yeah, and the NFL decided to grant him that.
And yeah, so I mean, I watch his highlights and I see what the talent evaluators are saying. A lot of his throws, it's like his wide receivers bailed him out of bad, risky throws. And I think that, seeing the spectacle around him was the thing that pushed a lot of GMs over the edge. Because he could have been a round 3 backup quarterback pick.
Yeah.
And they decided not to.
No, they made a statement. The 32 NFL teams definitely united and said, this guy is not a guy we want to build around.
Yeah.
And then you have this other dilemma where it's like, even if you want to take him as a backup, you don't want a star-studded backup quarterback because that's going to distract from the other quarterbacks in the room.
Especially with Deion Sanders yapping in the background.
Yeah.
Because it's a package deal.
Yeah. So,
he's dad and head coach at the college level. You can't, and big name in the NFL. You can't get rid of him.
Well, yeah, this really hurt.
Which makes perfect sense that the Browns drafted him.
Yeah. I don't know what the Cleveland Browns are trying to do with this move. I really think this is just a lottery pick to them at this point. They're just hoping that maybe he can be a second or third stringer.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but in a room with Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders, another rookie quarterback, I forget the other one that they drafted, and obviously Deshaun Watson's on the shelf for this year.
Right.
I think Joe Flacco is probably the quarterback I would go with.
Honestly, he'll probably be the starter at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
As long as he takes a nap every time that the defense is out there, he should be okay for the first half of the season.
Yeah. This is so ridiculous. I don't know how the Browns have messed up their quarterback situation this bad.
It's a weirdly crowded quarterback room, but it's crowded with like C-level talent.
Yeah.
And like, how do you pick the best of the worst? You don't even know what half these guys are capable of. Joe Flacco is 1 foot in the retirement home. Kenny Pickett hasn't, he has starting experience, but not relevant starting experience recently. Then you got 2 rookies and a busted, broken criminal Deshaun Watson. So, like,
well, Deshaun Watson's he's not even
done.
He's not going to be a part of the equation.
No.
The only thing he's affecting is the salary cap.
Well, who knows? Maybe they're just holding out for 2026 now.
No, he's done.
Why didn't they just cut him then? The money's spent. I don't want to get on the Deshaun Watson thing, but they should just cut him.
Yeah, they should, but I guess they really, I don't know, at this point, does it matter? I don't know.
He's just.
I guess if they cut him, could he actually sign with another team? I don't know. I don't know what
they're just gonna keep him in their back pocket and let him sit.
Yeah, and hope that he makes a miracle recovery. I don't know.
Well, they're running out of time, but yeah, the Shedeur Sanders thing only complicates matters.
Yeah.
I think.
And good luck, Cleveland Browns fans. I don't know what way you go, who do you root for in this crowded quarterback room? But I think it's Joe Flacco. I think Joe Flacco probably starts week 1, and then maybe his play falls off, and then one of the rookies steps up or something like that. But that's the only thing I can see.
It's just messy.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing on the Shedeur Sanders thing that I wanted to mention. There was from a human aspect, I do feel kind of bad for him because it's tough to get that kind of bruise to your ego, especially when he has such a big one. But then on top of that, I think it was the Falcons, one of the Falcons coordinators' sons
prank
phone called him. And I'm like, as much as I want Sanders' ego to be checked and, a little bit of correction for the hubris, I think that was kicking somebody while they're down, and that was not cool. That I did feel bad for the kid. I mean, he's only like 21. He's a kid. He's a so that I did feel bad, but I do think that he did need a little bit of a course correction in general.
Yeah.
So we'll see how he does.
A plague on both of your houses.
Yes, a plague on both of your houses.
Yeah,
well put.
Both on the Browns and the Falcons for this stunt.
Yeah, just a crazy draft.
Yeah, and boy. I just think every GM just did not want the headache.
Yeah.
There were even owners. Did you hear about this story that owners came down on GMs and told their GMs, you take them off the board. I don't want them. Take them off the board.
They had to know that it was going to be a headache.
Yeah. You don't want it. You don't want that. You don't want the headache from the backup quarterback.
Did you see his little draft party? His draft room?
Yeah, it was.
Come on, if you're sitting there,
cringe.
Yeah. If you're a multi-billion-dollar owner of a sports franchise and you see that, do you really want to invite that into your locker room?
You know what I was kind of surprised at? When he was falling to like the 4th round and the 5th round, I was like, could he just withdraw from the draft and go back to college? Like, he had one more year of eligibility left. He probably would have made more money.
Listen, I'm just going to be so for real right now. This kid does not need to work.
No.
He could have gone back to college and did whatever he wanted to do. I think he's harming his future by trying to be a professional football player in the grand scheme of things. Just take dad's money and go finger paint or something.
What is he, 5 years old, finger paint?
All I'm saying is that he's set up for life. Go do something else rather than be the 3rd string quarterback to the Cleveland Browns. That's no fun. Nobody wants to do that.
Nah, we'll see how that awkward quarterback room shakes out. That's going to be a weird quarterback room dynamic.
Yeah, very confusing. You have a divisive figure in Deshaun Watson. You got
two rookies,
a former Super Bowl winner, somehow. Actually, 2 Super Bowl winners if you count Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know how you want to fudge the numbers there.
Yeah, that's right.
And then Deion Sanders.
It's like 2 extremes.
Yeah.
You have 2 people that have Super Bowl experience and 2 people that have no experience.
Right.
How does that happen?
I don't know. And arguably, the 2 people who won those Super Bowls lucked into them. And the 2 rookies are kind of just there to fill seats. A 3rd and a 5th round pick? Come on. They're not really pushing for starting time.
Well, I mean, the bar is set low for those 2.
Yeah.
So we shall see. But what a weird and dramatic slide that we have ever seen in the NFL draft.
That was absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. But that is a sign from all the 32 teams that you just don't have your stuff in order.
Yeah.
I mean, I was also hearing too, like leading up to the draft, that he was skipping on interviews. He wasn't treating them seriously.
There was a lot of knocks against him.
There was an offensive coordinator that said that he had one of the worst football conversations in terms of football intelligence with him that he ever had with anybody. That's a very bad statement to have.
I mean, the kid's on record blaming his own team for losses and why he didn't have good performances. He's not starting quarterback material.
If he's blaming his teammates in college, imagine who he's going to blame if he starts a game for the Browns.
Oh, man. He's going to blame the teammates, the coaches, the fans, the city, everybody but himself. That's not starting quarterback material.
Yeah, this could be bad.
Could be bad. But let's talk about some of the other guys taken. I do want to, go back to Cam Ward being taken number 1 overall. That was pretty much a no-brainer. But what was exciting was the Jags jumping up to 2nd.
Yeah.
Trading with the Browns, who moved down to 5, and they snagged Travis Hunter, the wide receiver / cornerback two-way player, 2nd overall, getting 2 players for the price of 1. What do you make of this? How realistic is it that this kid plays significant snaps at both positions in the NFL?
I don't think so. But to me, this says more about the Jaguars. I think that this says to me the Jaguars think that they are close to winning the division.
Well, the division is kind of wide open.
It is, but I don't know. To use one of your philosophies, I just see the Jags as possibly like a 9-8, 10-7 team at best, and I don't know if it's worth it. But the Jets, maybe they think they're just one player away from a playoff run. I think that's what this trade says, because they had to give up their first-round pick next year for it.
They did. Yeah, they gave up a lot to move up, just 3 spots to take this kid. So you're right. They must think that something big is about to happen.
I think that's doubtful.
I think they could win the division, but winning the division in that division when half your division's picking in the top 3, say like, oh, we won the division. Okay, well, you're playing the other 3 worst teams in the league. Your highest ranked team was picking 14th. You didn't even crack the top half of the league. You only need 9 wins to win the division. So yes, sure, they are very much capable of doing that. However, once they come across the Chiefs and the Bills and the Steelers and the Ravens in the playoffs, they're done.
I don't know. Yeah.
They'll make it in, but then they're round 1 exit. So,
They must think that they are building something with a new head coach down there and still running with Trevor Lawrence. I don't know. I think they think they got something down there in Duval. I
think they should have, clearly this was a weak quarterback class.
Yes.
So, they must really trust Trevor Lawrence, but I don't.
How about this? I got something. This is a make or break year for Trevor Lawrence. They are going to try.
Then why sacrifice your future to move up?
Oh, that's right. They're giving up the first-round draft pick.
That's what I was. That's what I was getting at. Yeah. Why would you not just sit at 5 or even trade back and just collect stock for next year?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand.
It's very. You don't make this kind of move unless you're moving up for a foundational building block, which I don't think you build around cornerback as a foundation piece.
Yeah.
Like, if you were going up to get, an elite left tackle who's going to be your anchor on that line for 12 years, sure. Or a quarterback, obviously. Maybe a stud defensive tackle that, again, is going to solidify the center of your defense for a decade, sure. But cornerback, wide receiver, that's a very risky position to build around. Because if you don't have the guy to throw to him or the person to protect your quarterback or the people to get the ball back on defense, your wide receiver is useless.
Yeah. So, this was another head scratcher.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Very curious stuff.
They must think that they're building something special for this upcoming season in Duval, but I don't know. I don't see it.
There were a lot of curious decisions made. One of the things that I thought was so interesting was the absolutely crazy run on linemen. There were like 5 defensive linemen, a whole bunch of offensive linemen taken. Teams looked at the Eagles and they were like, oh, build from the trenches.
Yeah.
So they were just taking so many linemen. And it was making me think like, oh, what are the Eagles going to do when it gets to be their turn to pick? Because we're seeing so many tackles and edges and offensive linemen come off the board. The last position in the entire world that I thought the Eagles would take was linebacker. Let's get to it. Let's get to the Eagles draft board, Rich. With the 31st pick trading up, swapping picks with the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles took Jihad Campbell from Alabama, linebacker. What a crazy pick.
I'd buy that for $1.
Yeah, I think this is...
Was that not one of... You talk about a shocking draft.
I think this is a great play by Howie again.
He's always a step ahead. He's like, we're going to take offensive linemen and defensive tackles when everybody's looking at wide receivers, and then everybody's taking their linemen. We're like, we're going to go back to linebacker, double dip. We got the All-Pro and Zach Bond. Let's reload. You know?
Boom. And this is a guy that was projected to be, in the top 10, top 15 of this draft.
Yeah. So looking at just ESPN's draft thing, he's number 1 overall at his position. They had him ranked 19th overall. I saw him as high as, early teens. Some people referencing maybe 10 if somebody really, really liked him, but comfortably in that 10 to 15 range, and slides all the way down to 31. I love this pick because he is extremely athletic. He's prototypical size for a linebacker, but he also possesses the ability to rush off the edge, like a Nolan Smith or a Hassan Reddick. And I think that's why they took him where they did, because not only does he solidify those linebackers with Nakobe Dean being out, but also we play what's essentially a 3-4, but kind of a modified 3-4. It's almost like a 2-5 kind of formation.
Yeah.
We usually
bastard.
Well, we usually play those two big defensive tackles and then some other linemen, and then we have a lot of edge guys. We have guys like Nolan Smith who can either blitz or drop back into coverage. And Jihad Campbell fits that role perfectly because he's not like, remember when we tried to do that with Trent Cole and Brandon Graham?
Yeah, it didn't really
in
work.
The Chip Kelly years? That's because we knew 9 out of 10 times they were blitzing. But with guys like Jihad Campbell or Nolan Smith, they really could go either way. It's that versatility that's key.
Yeah.
And that's why I like the pick.
Yeah, and just good value on the pick, too. I mean, this is definitely another good pick from the Howie camp. He has learned to draft well.
Yeah, every draft, it seems that he's getting crazy value for some guy that's fallen down the draft boards. The only knock against him is that he did have an injury, but clearly the Eagles don't think that it's going to be that big a deal. He had some surgery on his shoulder. With the proper rehab, the proper rest, we see lots of guys come back from injuries. So, hoping that he heals up fine and he's ready to go for camp. It doesn't seem like there's anything holding him back from what it looks like. It seems like he'll be ready to go. So yeah, really, really great pick there. We had to wait a while to get to the second pick, but with the 64th overall pick, the Eagles selected Andrew Makuba, safety out of Texas. Again, taking a position of need with safety. This is the clear replacement for C.J. Gardner-Johnson. He's a little bit undersized, but he plays really aggressively, which I think the Eagles probably really liked. Seeing him as a ball-hawking, aggressive safety. The 2 big knocks against him, he wasn't projected until, the 3rd or 4th round.
Yep.
So maybe a big stretch here.
Well, I'm going to give you the reasoning. The 64th overall pick might as well be a 3rd round pick.
I mean, yes, that's true.
And the Eagles needed a safety after losing C.J. Gardner-Johnson and losing Slay.
Yeah.
that backfield got decimated this offseason. They needed somebody fresh back there.
Yeah, they really did. You're right. Between C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Darius Slay, but also we lost Isaiah Rodgers.
Yeah, Roger.
Avonte Maddox.
Yeah.
I mean, we lost a lot of secondary players.
This was a Band-Aid that was well needed.
Yeah, so I'm hoping he can come in and compete maybe rotate in and out with Sidney Brown. They don't seem like they're fully sold on Sidney Brown yet as the starter opposite Reed Blankenship.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this kid is the answer either. He's undersized, and there's been a lot of talk about his missed tackles. He has something like 14.5% missed tackles, which isn't great, but I feel like C.J. Gardner-Johnson also did that.
Yeah.
So as long as you're breaking even on the missed tackle front and he gets a couple of interceptions, and that's kind of the trade-off, right?
Right.
We've always had like the Asante Samuel guy or the C.J. Gardner-Johnson where they're going to whiff like a lot, but they'll also get a few interceptions and a few splash plays.
Yeah.
We just got to break even there. Those are the two top picks, the two picks that are anticipated to make the biggest impact. We didn't pick again until well into the fourth round, where we took defensive tackle Ty Robinson out of Nebraska. A little bit of an undersized defensive tackle, but this is again a good depth piece after losing a lot of defensive linemen. Good scheme fit with the athleticism and his technique. A little bit of an older prospect at 24, but our whole defense is very young in general, so this is, I think a non-issue here. Kind of like so-so on this pick.
Okay.
Thoughts?
I mean, I would say, again, for being at this point in the draft overall, I think the players you draft are going to have some knocks on them.
Yeah.
I think this is a solid pick again. This was a position of need. He seems to be a very quick player here at this position. And this is what I think you need to do. You got to keep the fresh talent coming in, and especially at rookie contracts. That's what this defense needed coming off of the Super Bowl run. So I mean, I'm all for these three picks here.
Yeah, and like you said, at this stage in the draft, you're looking for quantity, right? To see if you can maybe get a hidden gem or train somebody up. And that's kind of the rest of the Eagles draft. In the fifth round, we have Mac McWilliams, cornerback out of Central Florida. Again, going back to the depth needed in the defensive backfield. You have, I think it's Smail Mondon.
Oh, yep. This is the obligatory Georgia Bulldog pick.
The Georgia Bulldog pick, right? So that's definitely a positive. Again, another Georgia Bulldog, but also more depth for those linebackers. We get a nice backup center in Drew Kendall in the fifth, keeping that O-line pipeline stocked up, constantly bringing in fresh talent for the offensive linemen. I also just like giving Stoutland more guys to work with.
Yeah.
He seems to really be capable at taking these late-round guys and turning them into starters or trade bait. Which I'll take both.
Well, in the sixth round with Miles Hinton and Cameron Williams, one of those two, he just needs one of those two to hit.
Right.
That's all he needs. That's a numbers game right there.
Yeah, we took a center and two offensive tackles in the fifth and the sixth. So we've got Stoutland enough guys to work with there.
Just one of them has to become a starter.
A competent starter or just like a really solid backup
and that's a win.
Or trade bait.
Yeah, or even trade bait.
We do that
right.
sometimes too. Like remember after the first Super Bowl win, Big V?
Yeah, we
got some good return on him. So it happens. And then it just rounded out with, we also took a backup quarterback in Kyle McCord.
Local boy.
That's right. I think there was a video clip of him throwing a touchdown pass in Lincoln Financial Field in like a Pop Warner game, which is kind of cute. But also there was a weird rumor I saw that the Eagles might be looking to trade Tanner McKee. I don't know how real that is.
I mean, again, if there's hype,
yeah,
why not?
You could get. I mean, like if people are looking at him and say, maybe he could be a solid backup, float. Like a fourth rounder? He looks good.
He looked good in that role when Pickett went down.
He did. That was the Commanders game, wasn't it? Or
I think it might have been the week after.
Was it the week after?
Yeah.
He did look really good. So, the whole quarterback factory comment.
Yeah, right?
You flip Tanner McKee, you bring in Kyle McCord as a back. Why not? Why not?
Possible.
And then finishing it up with Antoine Powell-Ryland from Virginia Tech, edge. Again, more depth at defensive line. So overall, Rich, what do you think of this draft class? It's kind of a lower, it's kind of just very safe, simple.
Yes. To the people that say this was a boring draft, to the people that say that this was a safe draft, look, Howie doesn't need to say much. Super Bowl champions. That's what happens.
For those not on the video feed, Rich is repping his Super Bowl gear.
Yeah, that's what happens. You win the Super Bowl, you pick last. This is what happens.
I mean, and you're exactly right. There weren't that many glaring holes that needed to be filled. We had a major injury at linebacker. We filled that up. We needed help in the defensive backfield and on defensive line, and we got some guys early on to address those needs. We have kind of a need at tight end. I thought we were going to take a tight end. Dallas Goedert's still under contract. Grant Calcaterra's still under contract. We're either going to make them play those contracts out or re-sign them, but we got that pretty much nailed down. So there wasn't too much that we had to do.
Yeah. I think it was a fine draft for Howie.
We're stocking up for our coaches to see if we can turn some of these late round guys into hidden gems and steals.
Yep.
And we're biding our time to 2026, where we have 12 draft picks.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of ammunition. If this one was a safe or boring one, that is by design, and it's okay because you need that kind of draft every once in a while.
Yeah. So there you go. The NFL draft in the books. And we will keep you updated on the progress of these new Philadelphia Eagles, and as the training camp's going to start soon, isn't it?
I think it starts with what is it? Official team activities or like rookie mini camp or whatever it is.
Yeah, it's coming up.
It's coming up. Hey, look, man, NFL season it never ends. This is just the non-playing season.
That's right.
Remember that, folks.
So there you go. We'll keep you updated as that happens. But there you go. The NFL Draft 2025 in the books. And for that, we'll also have to end the Sports Sampler on that note. But don't go anywhere. We still got the entertainment entree and the non-fortune cookie odd news when we return. This is the Crispy Noodle Podcast. We'll be right back.
On June 7th, 4 best friends and a bunch of their friends will pile into a TV studio in Philadelphia with buzzers, microphones, lights, and trivia to recreate 24 of their favorite game shows, streaming online, live and uncensored. It's the 12th annual 24-hour game show marathon, raising $10,000 for Child's Play, a nonprofit dedicated to supporting children's hospitals around the world through the power of play. To learn more or to donate towards the $10,000 goal, go to GameShowMarathon.com.
Ready for the weekend? Happy Friday. Hi, my name's Marie, and I'm an artist who's been making Happy Friday doodles every week for over 7 years. And now you can own my art collection in this Volume 1 and Volume 2 art series. These doodles span across multiple themes, yearly festivities, various countries, languages, and more. Both coffee table books have something for everyone and are the perfect conversation starter or gift for a friend. Really, anyone who enjoys a good weekend. Available on Amazon, Ingram, BookBaby, Barnes & Noble, and more. Visit happyfridaydoodles.com/books and get your copies today. Let's celebrate the best day of the week. Happy Friday.
Just a moment, you just assured me that I could speak Sit down inside the car. We're not assuring anything. We're under arrest.
Look, I'm under what?
Come on.
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest. Have a look at the headlock here. See that chap over there? Get your hand off my penis! This is the bloke who got me on the penis before.
Get some cups.
Why did you do this to me?
Hop in the car. Get some cups.
For what reason? What is the charge? Eating a meal? A succulent Chinese meal? Oh, that's a nice headlock, sir. Oh, yes. I see that you know your judo well. Good one. And you, sir, are you waiting to receive my limp penis? How dare get your hands off there.
No, we've only got one cup.
Ta-ta and farewell.
So I guess get him in the car.
One cup, look.
Oh, yeah, we're back here on the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Oh, yes. Feels good to be rocking and rolling. The NFL draft in the books, leaving the world of sports now, and instead heading to the second part of our show that revolves around movies, TV, and video game news with the entertainment entree.
And now, the latest in movies.
The Simpson guy writes to movies. Dear Die Hard, you rock. Especially when that guy was on the roof.
Music.
I know what that is. That's music.
Video games.
I'm Commander Shepard, and this is my favorite store on the Citadel.
Celebrities.
You really know Warren Beatty? Yes, I do. I took a leak next to him once at the Golden Globes.
And more.
You were the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world.
This is the entertainment entree.
All right, we're officially in the entertainment entree headspace, and we're going to kick it off with the segment where Mike is going to let you know what you should keep an eye out for this upcoming weekend with new movies, TV, and video game properties in Mike's This Week in Entertainment. All right, Mikey, what do you got for the people?
All right, well, first up in movies, Disney and Marvel's latest movie, Thunderbolts, hits theaters this week. It's essentially the Marvel version of the Suicide Squad. A group of anti-heroes is assembled to tackle a new threat. But the big question is, will the group tear themselves apart or find redemption? The movie is exciting not just for the novel concept within the Marvel Universe, but also because it concludes Phase 5 of the MCU. And so hopefully this will help to pivot or point Phase 6 in the right direction. I will say that critically, the movie is doing all right. It's got an 88% on Rotten Tomatoes. The trailers look pretty decent.
It also seems like this is going to be must-watch for the next Avengers movie, because this is one of the main factions that we went over when we went over the cast list for Avengers Doomsday.
Yes, we did. So this is one of the major groups alongside the Fantastic Four and the X-Men is the Thunderbolts, going to be a central focus of that Avengers movie. That is correct. So Marvel fans, get your tickets, go check it out. Coming to theaters this week. In TV, The Four Seasons is a new comedy coming to Netflix. The series follows 6 friends, 3 couples, as they go on a series of 4 different vacations over the course of a year as one couple's relationship starts to dissolve, impacting the whole group. It seems pretty interesting. The trailers make it sound, kind of funny, so it might be something to tide you over for TV. That's The Four Seasons coming to Netflix. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's something.
Can I also suggest something?
Sure.
Did you hear that a lot of people are watching Conclave because the Pope died, and now
that's a great idea.
So if you're in a seedy vacante mood, the seat is vacant. You can go rent or watch Conclave. I think it's on Amazon.
It's honestly a pretty good movie.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
We saw it in theaters.
Yeah.
Pre-release.
Yeah.
Which was fun.
Exclusive. Ooh.
Exclusive. Ooh.
It's cool.
I watched it later after the fact with the family, and on second watching, I liked it even a bit more. And it's like a solid 8 out of 10. It's well worth your time, especially if you don't have any idea what a conclave is like.
Yeah, this is what the Cardinals are really going to do.
It's kind of interesting. Go check it out, Conclave.
Yeah.
But if you're not interested in TV or movies, go check out some video games. Forza Horizon 5 makes its PlayStation 5 debut this week. This is a former Xbox exclusive racing game. It is a fan and critic favorite and represents the first of Xbox quote-unquote big three franchises to make the jump to PlayStation consoles. The other two, of course, being Halo and Gears of War. But fans are loving Forza Horizon 5. If you're a big fan of racing games, this is a must-have. So go check it out now on PlayStation 5. But if you don't like racing, check out Cooking Companions. Also coming to all major consoles this week. It's like a Doki Doki Literature Club, and that's all we're going to say.
Yeah.
If you know what Doki Doki Literature Club is, you'll definitely be picking up this game. If you don't know what Doki Doki Literature Club is,
play that.
Trust the process. Play that, but really play it. Don't just start to play it and try to quit like I did. Actually play the whole thing. You won't regret it. And then go get Cooking Companions. And that's what we're looking forward to this week on Entertainment.
I noticed you said on entertainment.
I know I did say on. I was hoping nobody would catch that, but you did immediately.
Sorry. I just know I didn't know if there was a reasoning for it.
No, just me being sleep deprived.
Because you're cooking, it's like you're cooking, or you're putting it on the stove.
You're putting on the entertainment. I don't know.
You're cooking the entertainment, so it's like
I'm cooking it up,
you're getting
and
it ready.
I'm putting it out there.
And you're serving
it
on a plate.
Sure. Yeah, that's what I did.
Okay. Anyway, new rules.
New rules that we just made up.
Yeah, these are rules we just made up.
Right.
Just like the Academy did.
The Academy could do whatever the hell it wants, and it made some new rules for the next Oscars coming in 2026. And I thought you had an audio clip. That's okay.
Oh, good for you.
I saw you tapping buttons, and I was like,
there you go.
I was like, wait.
I was getting it ready, and then I realized I still had it mute because I had it fade out from the last clip. So there you go. We're all good now.
We're all good.
Oh, good for you.
Anyway,
so the what do they call them? The governors? The board of governors.
Yeah,
they
inflate their titles. Yeah,
right. They met to discuss the 98th Academy Awards, which will take place in 2026. There's a lot of procedural stuff that they talked about, but there's two big changes that are not changes, but clarifications really that impact the Oscars as we know it. The first and the most important, and I don't know why this hasn't always been a thing. It seems like dead simple. But you cannot now vote on a film in a category unless you've viewed all of the nominees. And this is such a...
Yeah, that felt like that should have been a rule already.
This is such a stupidly simple rule. How can you possibly vote on a category if you haven't seen all the movies? This is going to help films that are just skating by, this is going to help films get noticed compared to films that are skating by on name recognition, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome because I think a lot of times when movies lobby for their awards, a lot of people are like, oh, I haven't seen it, but I heard such and such is really good, right? And they cast their ballots strictly based on that.
Yeah, I've heard that the Oscars is almost more like a political election because all these movies need campaigns and they have to try and woo the voters. They
send the voters gift baskets and they have whole advertising things and industry events to sway their opinions.
Yeah, here's free booze.
And I'm not saying that. For example, Oppenheimer wasn't phenomenal, but you can see how a movie with the budget and the clout of an Oppenheimer is just going to crush smaller films. I think that one deserved it back when it won. but you can see how smaller films might struggle to get recognized, or films that, are more art house will struggle to get recognized. This is especially criminal in the quote unquote lesser categories, like sound design and music and costumes and makeup and animated feature films. A lot of years, movies win just because it's a Disney movie, or just because, this is that movie with
Spielberg movie.
A Spielberg movie, or this movie had this composer, like when The Social Network won instead of Inception.
Yeah.
It's a Facebook, of course. We'll give it to the Facebook movie, kind of thing.
Travesty.
Really. And that was the only one that popped into my head. But there's tons of examples like that.
Yeah.
So forcing people to actually sit down and watch the movies, it should have happened decades ago.
Yeah,
so I'm glad that it's happening now. Another change, or rather a clarification, that I think is interesting, but maybe a little frustrating. They did clarify that generative AI will have no bearing, positive or negative, on the inclusion or exclusion or the voting on a particular work. And I don't know. I feel like that's a dangerous first step on a slippery slope.
Yeah.
Like, I understand that generative AI can
sure
be...
About that? You sure about that? You sure about this?
I know that generative AI can be used...
Get ready for the next Bond movie. It's going to be all AI.
Man.
Amazon is going to shoot... Whenever they land upon the right formula for the actor that they choose, they're going to shoot him into a freaking GPT script robot, and that movie's going to be all AI written. Get ready.
Oh, yeah. It's one of those things where, like, I wish that they could just say, like, no. Anything that has AI is excluded. And I know that that's impossible, because I know you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? Like, it's out there. People are using it. I understand that it has its use. It is helpful. What I don't want is studios leaning on it. I don't want studios, churning out stuff like you just alluded to with, like, the new James Bond. Like, I don't know how you measure something like this. Like, something has to be minimum 60% human creation, or preferably more. But let's say 60% for the sake of argument. Like, I don't know how you measure that, but I feel like there needs to be some kind of restriction in place.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Does that not frustrate you and worry you a little bit?
Because I'm telling you right now, all the major movie corporations, they want AI. They want to not pay writers.
Oh man,
that would save them a lot of money.
They want it so bad. Like, I don't think people realize how.
I think the Academy should have
companies...
just came out and just said no AI. I'm sorry. I don't know. They should have stuck with the writers and made a proclamation. No AI.
I know that, I know you're probably familiar with this, but people who are not in industries that are touched by or tangential to generative AI, I don't think they realize how desperately people are frothing at the mouth for it.
Yep.
Like, companies cannot wait to put people out of work for generative AI. Like, I kid you not, daily.
Oh,
daily. Yeah. So I see it all the time. It's coming. I know I'm sounding very alarmist here, but and I'm not saying get rid of it, because obviously it can be a good thing. It can help us in society and in the arts and in business, but there needs to be a careful, healthy balance. That's all I'm asking for.
Well, you're going to get a balance of it from the movie studios. And by them not paying the writers.
The movie studios, yes, the balance is 90% AI, 10% human, obviously.
90% AI and 10% under the table. We're not officially mentioning that we paid anybody else for this movie.
Yes.
Yep.
That's exactly what it is. 90% AI, 10% ghostwriters.
Right. Yep.
0% actual human artists.
That's the ideal budgeting for writing crew.
Look, don't make me any more depressed than I need to be about this story, all right?
That's what I'm disappointed in that one. The Academy should have stuck with the writers and Should have came out and said no AI.
Remember the strikes, guys?
Yeah.
Remember the strikes where it was the directors, the writers, and the actors and voice actors, and they're like, hello, this is dangerous. We're all going to lose our jobs. And everybody's like, when's the next season of my favorite show? It's like, that's because if you want the next season, we have to protect these creative individuals. There's not going to be a next season.
Yep.
Or there will be, but it's going to be really, really bad.
Yep. It's looking dicey.
Hashtag rant over.
Yep.
Yeah, so I would have liked stronger language from the Academy, but that's what we got.
Yeah.
So there's that.
All right. So there you go. Thank you, Academy, for that wonderful bulletin.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go into Last of Us? Is there? I don't know if there's enough time. We got slightly bit. Do you want? Can we do?
We can do a quick. Do you want to do a quick bit?
Quick blip, if you will.
Quick blip.
Yeah.
Do we want to do spoilers? Let's do it.
Okay, just in case. Yeah.
Just in case.
So here we go. Following up on our last 2 weeks, we're gonna do just a quick blip on Last of Us episode 3 of season 2. And there may be spoilers.
It's a spoiler! Ooh, it's a spoiler! Don't listen! Go away!
Oh, yeah.
So we had to play the spoilers because this is the aftermath of the most shocking scene in Last of Us.
Yeah.
I loved episode 3 because it allowed the show to do what video games can't. Video games can do a lot narratively. I'm a big fan, big supporter. I will always shout their successes from the rooftops. What they cannot do is oftentimes let gamers sit and reflect and stew in a moment, and that's what episode 3 let us do.
Yeah.
It showed the ramifications. It showed people dealing with the fallout, whereas in the game, it's like, you gotta hit the road. Get your shit and go.
Yeah, get the action going again. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I liked the whole Ellie trying to go politician.
Yeah,
and
with her statement there.
Yeah, and trying to make it seem that this was for the good of justice or whatever. Good.
Yeah.
And, I don't know. That tickled me. I was like, oh, that's a.
You're like that's cute.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah.
That's not at all what the rest of the season's about.
Right, exactly. And that scene, I'm so glad you brought that up because that scene is so pivotal and it's something that never happens in the game. And that's why I love this episode because you get a moment to see all the different facets, right? You hear Ellie's fake perspective. You hear Seth's legitimate perspective, what Ellie really wants to say, right? You hear other townspeople. You see the vote where they're like, no, we got to move on. At the end of the day, he was just a guy, an important guy, but he was just one guy. We're not going to send a whole team of people to go hunt down this rogue band of marauders across the country. That's insane. It's legitimately insane. I loved seeing those different viewpoints. I think that's so essential going forward to give viewers the proper frame of reference for the events that are about to transpire.
Yeah.
Because every time something bonkers happens, and it will, we will remember when the people of Jackson cautioned for calmness. You know, they spoke out for letting it go, protecting their own, and they called for calm heads. And I think it's going to help spin the season in a really interesting moral direction.
Yeah.
That I think may have been lost somewhat in the game since we're directly controlling it. Like, we want to do the killing, we want to do the action. I think this is going to help viewers with the passivity of it.
Yeah, that's a good way to frame it. Yeah, I would agree with that.
But yeah, I just cannot get enough of this show. It's like the thing that I look forward to the most every Sunday.
Every Sunday, making you so sad it hurts, but you want it every.
I love
Sunday.
the pain. I love it. Give me more pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely fantastic episode. I loved the slow pace of it. I loved the reflection of it.
How did you like the introduction of the seraphims, if I remember correctly?
Seraphites?
Seraphites. Yeah. Thank you. Seraphites.
I thought it was honestly pretty shocking that they brought them in so early.
Yeah, right? I thought it was really early to bring them in.
But that also makes sense because I guess everything has to be compressed. Otherwise, we wouldn't see them until season 3, right?
I mean, there's only 7 episodes this season.
There's only 7 in season?
I think so. I think that's what they announced.
So it makes sense that they brought them in. And honestly, I think it helps where it won't feel so sudden later on for them because in the game, they kind of just appeared.
Yeah.
It was like a whole separate storyline, and it'll be interesting to see how they weave it in more like together.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, what did you think about the Seraphites?
I mean, when I first saw that, I thought that seemed...
You're like, whoa, that's early.
Right. I thought that seemed early to bring them into this.
Yeah.
But I think they might be using the Seraphites as a weave in between Ellie and Abby's story. So it wouldn't surprise me if either the next episode or the 5th episode turns to be all about an Abby episode, you know?
Yeah. Honestly, that would be a pretty smart way to do it. It seems like episode 3 is going to be an Abby. Or sorry, episode 4 is going to be an Abby episode.
One of them's got to be at some point, yeah.
You have to start making headway there.
Yeah.
To get viewers on board. That is still the biggest question, the biggest uphill battle is how will non-gamers respond to those plot lines. Now, I have 2 people that are watching the show that have not played the games that I've been keeping tabs on and talking with. And I'm sure everybody's got 1 or 2 of them. And it'll be interesting to see how they perceive things.
Yeah.
If they're open and to engaging in that aspect.
Yeah.
But so the show was great, and also the social experiments, watching other people watch the show. Honestly, that's part of what gives me so much joy is watching people who don't know the story watch it, and I'm like, oh, you have no idea, sweet summer child. You've not been hurt like the rest of us.
Yes. Or literally, The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so there you go. Quick little blip about The Last of Us. I don't know. It might be a new weekly thing with 4 more episodes in the can.
Listen, if they keep knocking them out of the park like they have the first 3 episodes, why not?
Yeah,
we'll do a bitty blip.
Right.
A little bitty blip on The Last of Us. Bitty blip.
So we might keep that up. But for right now, we got to get to our 3rd and final portion of the show, the non-fortune cookie odd news.
We've been talking about cool and its ramifications and how it applies to the hip scene. But maybe you could give us some examples now of the opposite of cool, uncool. Just exactly what is uncool?
My nipples look like milk duds.
Holy shnikes.
It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
It's not of this world. I don't know exactly what it is or what it's doing, but this is not human intelligence, okay? It's not human intelligence we're facing!
How you doing? Me? I'm doing great.
Mandada bastata. I don't make this stuff up.
I'll take a pound of nuts.
That's a lot of nuts. That'll be $4, baby. You want fries with that?
I seen the celery dance across the baseball fields.
You had me at meet tornado.
No, go past this part. In fact, never play this again.
Okay. What does that mean?
And now it's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news.
So sit back, get everything you need to get from the kitchen. Be sure and empty the bladders, go to the bathroom, because you're in for a hell of a ride.
Woo, odd news.
That's right, everyone. It's time for the non-fortune cookie odd news. Here in this segment, Rich researches the news, he reads the news, and I react to the news. He finds a weird and wacky story and keeps it hidden from me, which ensures that all of my reactions are my genuine gut reactions to hearing the story for the very first time. I don't know what's about to happen. You guys don't know what's about to happen. And even Rich doesn't know what's about to happen because these stories always take us down wacky and wild paths. And I'm ready to get started. Where are we heading to?
Folks, it is time to head back to good old Florida.
Now, who is this guy in Florida?
It's Florida, and they're crazy.
And
Right, so-
yes, back to Clearwater. I don't know what is happening.
There is a direct pipeline from Philly to Clearwater. I think we're sending Oliver crazy there.
Well, this story, I would just love to have a like, I wish I was there to see like this happen, because this probably is the case of two people that, if they are from Philly, it would be I forget what you call it when you go down to Florida for the winter. Snowbird. Yeah, it might have been two cases of snowbirds here.
Could be.
Because this happened. 88-year-old Carolyn Cedris was driving in the parking lot of Sam's Club in Clearwater when she crashed into the mobility scooter of a 77-year-old victim who was thrown from the scooter because of the incident.
No, I'm gonna f***ing kill you, motherfucker, old style.
Literally old style.
Yes, literally. This is old style squared.
No, I'm gonna f***ing kill you, motherfucker, old style.
The average age of individuals in this story is like over 80 years old.
It would be 82. The age would be 82 or 83. Yeah.
This might be our oldest odd news story ever.
Yes.
That's crazy. Also, I know that I should feel bad for the individual thrown out of the scooter.
That gotta be cool looking.
However, how hard did this lady get hit that she was launched out of this scooter? And also, if she needed a scooter before, she's definitely going to need it after this. That's a wild and unfortunate.
Yes.
But funny anyway.
Yes. Cedris was driving a Buick Envision.
How fast was she going?
Yeah, and this was in like the parking lot of Sam's Club. How fast could you have been going?
She's got to get her deals at Sam's Club.
Yeah.
So just pedal to the metal. She couldn't see over the steering wheel. You know, she's old.
Yeah, she probably couldn't see over.
It's like
her hair might have. Her hair might have been able to see over.
Yeah.
Because I have a mugshot photo.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So all right. So for people not on the video podcast, 1, get on it. 2, she's got her eyes closed, so that may have contributed to the problem.
Her one eye's definitely like slouched more,
and her hair is like half the size of her total. Like take the size of a person's face and then add half that size in hair. It's definitely like she is holding on to the fact that she wants to be like just over 5 feet, so she teased her hair out like 3 inches.
Yeah, the hair makes me over 5 foot.
But also, her eyes are closed. No, like tell me that's not those eyes aren't closed.
Her left eye is definitely more closed than the other one. Her right eye looks relatively open.
Okay.
I just had a stroke.
I've been told I have sleepy eyes, but she is asleep in that mugshot. Okay.
Oh, that might have and also might have helped the crash here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unfortunately, things are going to get worse for 88-year-old Carolyn Cedris because she did not stop at the scene of the accident.
Well, she didn't stop before she hit the person. Why should she stop afterwards? I mean, she's got places to be. She's got things to do. Come on. Look, she made it to 88. This other one can make it too. She's just got to get up, get back in her scooter, and scoot along.
Away.
Scoot along, yeah.
Unfortunately, though, the cops arrested her 4 hours after the crash, and they are charging her with leaving the scene of a crash involving a serious injury. That is a felony.
Ooh.
So, unfortunately, yeah, she has some serious legal charges at 88 years old.
I'm sorry. I know I'm supposed to feel bad, but I just imagine like screeching tires, and she just slams into the scooter, and this other lady just goes absolutely flying.
Yeah. I mean, it does. It says in the police report she was thrown from the mobility scooter.
Like, how fast was the other person going? How fast was the Buick going?
I don't. It must have been some sort of good amount of speed. I don't know.
Because when you say the word thrown,
yeah,
I'm imagining like multiple feet through the air.
Yeah, I'm going with launch.
Landing, right. Because if she had fallen or been knocked over but thrown, like her body is a torpedo. Okay?
She got launched. Woo!
Yes, that's what I'm imagining. I'm imagining she hits the scooter, she goes, voof,
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So
I should feel bad, but it's just
the visual,
the image, the visual.
Like I said, I wish I was there for this. The visual seems hilarious.
You just want to be parked like one aisle over, and you just all of a sudden you just see this old lady flying sideways through the air.
She had a good run. She's 77. Whoa!
Yeah, right.
Well, unfortunately for Carolyn Cedrus, 88. What a way to like begin the end stages of your life with a felony.
She's probably taking the position. I'm 88. Go ahead, arrest me. Well, like what?
Unfortunately, they're calling their bluff. They're charging her with a felony. So
she's gonna spend her last years in jail.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Boy. Well, don't hit people then.
Yeah, not good. All right, I got time for one more story.
Let's do it. Squeeze it in.
All right, this one's in New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
And oh boy, yeah, this is definitely a interesting one. So you know how there are certain models on sites like OnlyFans and Fans On that they're willing to do whatever you pay them to do.
Sure. Yes. I'm already so worried.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, what did somebody pay somebody to do?
Yes. Well, this woman who started out as just as a sexy model on OnlyFans was eventually paid to do some disgusting things.
Oh no.
That involved her urine.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Oh, yes.
Oh, God.
And the worst part is because she maintained an OnlyFans, the cops were able to link 3 different events to her and were able to charge her with separate crimes. So her OnlyFans ended up being the reason how they gathered evidence against her.
She was her own undoing.
Yes.
But
yes.
What crime did she commit with urine?
Oh, yeah.
Or are these separate things?
These are separate things, but they were all linked under her OnlyFans.
Okay.
So this is the criminal here is 24-year-old Kelly Tedford, who used to go under OnlyFans as Kinky Kelly. Alliteration.
There
you go.
It makes everything better.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
Kinky Kelly, there you go.
Yep.
Straight to the point.
And purely for research purposes,
oh boy,
I have some historical photos of Kinky Kelly here. So this is
okay. So that's Kinky Kelly.
Yep.
This is a PG-13 podcast. What are you doing?
Yep. That's her. That's her OnlyFans account, or what was her OnlyFans account. She is no longer.
You pulled the only acceptable photos.
Yep. Yes, I did. This is research.
Of course.
Research.
Right.
So according to New Hampshire cops, they were able to link 3 different instances of her exploits, if you will. So these were all paid for. And she had to show that she did it.
Oh God.
And this is how she got caught. They were able to use the
So all right. What was she paid to do? Because I don't want to know, but I have this morbid curiosity now.
Yep.
Because I'm trying to figure out how what she did was a criminal activity.
Oh yeah. So this first charge was she went to a grocery store in February.
Oh, it already is so bad.
Yep. And the cop said that due to her urination, she destroyed various merchandise in excess of $1,500.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
What was she doing? Pissing into the lobster tank? Like, how do you?
Yeah, let's do like.
How do you get to $1,500?
Let's do a reverse supermarket sweep. How do you rack up $1,500 in damages at a grocery store?
She had to go directly to the seafood and just unleashed a torrent. There's no other way you can rack up $1,500.
What else is expensive? Like that expensive?
It's like meat, seafood, and eggs.
Yeah. This is like supermarket sweep, but like a weird tangent.
She either went to the egg aisle, went to the seafood counter, or went to the meat section.
Yeah. I'd have to think some sort of meat.
What did she do? Did she get up on the counter and pee on everything?
Yes.
Wait, are you serious?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And somebody paid her to do
paid
this.
for this?
Yes, somebody.
Someone's like, oh yeah, pee on that T-bone. Ooh, yay, go pee.
Well, it was very erotic. Yes, indeed. It was erotic.
That's audio from the dude that paid her.
Apparently. And her namesake, she's earning her namesake right there.
Yes.
Just peeing on the meat and the seafood and the eggs.
Yes. So that was one.
$1,500.
Yep. So that's one charge that they got her on. Next.
That's a lot. I'm sorry. I just can't even imagine that. But like, what's the most you've ever spent in groceries? Maybe like 200-ish if it's like a really big week and you're like going all out. 300 maybe if you're buying for like a family of 4. Like,
yeah,
I don't know if you're having like a big meal. Maybe like I can't even think of how like just jars of caviar. Like
yeah, they're just lined up at your local Giant.
Just in each one. Like I don't know.
Yes.
I don't even have caviar at Giant.
I don't know if I would trust caviar at Giant.
She went to like the sushi counter at like a Wegmans. Like I'm like trying to figure out like how she got there.
Well, if it's a Whole Foods, I bet you can rack up a bill
there.
Whole
Foods, yeah.
Maybe it was Whole Foods.
She better not touch my cheese section.
Oh,
I like stinky cheese, but not like that. Not like that.
There was a bit of a nastiness last night, yes? Some very extreme nastiness, yes? Yes.
You stay away from my cheese. I'm serious.
You have to counterpay. You have to go against the other guy that paid her to do this.
I'm gonna pay her. Don't do what that guy said to do.
Yes.
And then he ups his bid. All of a sudden, it's a bidding war.
Yeah.
It's like
how far are you willing to go to save your cheese, Mike?
How much does he want his pee, and how much do I want my cheese? This is good versus evil here.
Yeah. We'll have to resume that at some point.
Yeah.
Figure out who wins that.
Okay, so that was the first thing she did.
Yes.
Sorry, I got sidetracked by the astronomical grocery bill.
Yes. Oh my God. Okay, and then
oh no,
this next one. She went to the Monadnock Food Co-op.
Why? Who's paying her to pee on food? Why food?
Yeah, someone's got a
but
kink
a
for
food
this.
Co-op, that's food for people.
Yeah.
Come on.
Someone's got a weird kink here. The Monadnock Food Co-op. Again, peeing on some relative items. But then also pooping on the floor.
Oh, come on.
Taking the waste.
Oh, no.
And putting it into the toilet tank, also known as an upper decker. I love the cop report.
The upper decker.
You know, one of the cops took this report and was like, hey, buddy, that's called an upper decker.
Yeah, right?
Put that in there.
That's the technical term, actually.
Look, we gotta be technical. We gotta be proper about this. It's called an upper decker, son. Put that in there.
So putting it in the part where like the clean water comes in.
Yes.
That ruins the whole system.
Yes, everything is ruined by this lady.
This is terrible.
She is just a weird, erotic force for going to the bathroom in food stores.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know. Somebody has
how much do you think she charged for this? Like, not that I would want anybody to pay for this, but I hope that it wasn't something stupid like $5. Like, I hope it was like a crazy amount of money.
I would hope it's a crazy amount for her to actually go through with this.
That's insane.
And record it. She's recording all this.
Right. And well, joke's on her.
Yeah, she's going to get charged.
She got caught because of it.
Yeah.
I hope it was a lot of money.
Yeah. All right, and then number 3.
Oh my God, we're still only on number 2.
Yeah, that was only number 2.
Oh, that was a twofer.
Number 2 at number 2.
Number 2 at number 2. 2 for 2 at 2.
2 for 2, Chuck Woolery.
That's an IHOP meal. 2 by 2 by 2.
Oh man. Oh, I gotta get through this story, man.
Okay,
This
so it's number 3.
All right, number 3. Then in her final act,
That's so ominous.
her grand finale,
Oh no.
someone paid her for a hotel room. She went into the hotel room and, according to cops, urinated almost everywhere. The hotel room's air conditioner, the carpet, the blanket, the curtains, and the Bible.
No, I'm gonna fucking kill you, motherfucker, old style. She's not a Christian!
She's definitely not a Christian after this
Definitely
one.
not. No.
She's not a Christian!
That was very targeted.
Yes. How much pee is she producing? Damn.
She showed up to this hotel with nothing but 2 gallons of water. Did the hotel staff not question, like, you don't have anything with you except, like, multiple gallons of water? So did she just sit in there just chug, 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 piss?
Yes,
chug,
I
chug,
guess.
God, what a strange life.
Yes.
Other people are out there working, spending time with family and friends. Meanwhile, she's like, oh, I got to go book a hotel room. I got to take a crap at the grocery store, pick up some water, go to the hotel room, drink all the water. Oh, my God. What a day.
Yes.
So busy.
Yes. So those were the 3 crimes.
Curtains,
Yes.
the AC, it's going to blow pee air into the room. It's everywhere, Rich. It's you can't go into that room.
It's going to blow pee air.
Come on. What hotel? I can't go there. This is New Hampshire. I can't
It's somewhere in New Hampshire, yeah.
No, we need to know. I can't ever go there. There's going to be pee air in the room. How do you disinfect that?
I don't know. It says New Hampshire.
Oh my God. That's so alarming.
The police report is from Keene.
Okay, so no
Keene,
hotels
New Hampshire?
in Keene, New Hampshire. Got it.
Keene. So there you go. Don't rent a hotel room in Keene, New Hampshire.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yes.
So I
yes.
hope they threw the book at her, not the pea-soaked Bible.
Yeah. If they wanted more evidence as well, she has other videos that were listed on the OnlyFans, as well as where she peed on herself and peed on clothing and other items that were sent to her from her users.
Okay. I'm not trying to kink shame anybody, but like a little bit of shame.
Yeah.
Because
I think it is when you're edging them to do a crime.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not good.
Like, no. And especially like I'm not that I'm advocating for doing that anywhere, but why on food?
Yeah.
Like people could eat, and ingest. Like that's really messed up.
Yeah. All right. Well, Kinky Kelly is no more. The page has been deleted. Her only.
Oh, what a shame.
Yep. Her career is over.
Oh man, what a career too.
Yep.
With those highlights.
Yep. Her OnlyFans account is fully deactivated, and according to New Hampshire cops, she will be charged with various misdemeanor and felony charges.
Yep.
So she is going to get the book thrown at her.
I hope she made a lot from those videos because she's going to need it for that bail money.
Yep.
Isn't it funny how the universe works out like that?
Yep.
She's like, oh, yeah, I made so much money from peeing on the meat. And then just straight out the window for bail money.
Now you're going to have to put on a show in jail. Hey, are you that urine chick? Let me see you pee.
I don't know why that's so vulgar. So let me see you pee. Oh yeah. What do they pay him in? Like Doritos? It's prison.
Toilet wine.
Toilet wine. She'll love it because she's used to everything tasting like pee. Apparently,
right? She's used to it.
Jesus. She must be the most well-hydrated person in the world, though. No lie.
During this run, yeah. Because she's just constantly just peeing everywhere.
This cannot be made good. It's shameful. It's a shameful, shameful day.
Yes, it is. That was one of those stories.
It is a shameful, shameful day. That is highly disturbing.
Yes.
And I really don't ever want to stay in hotels in Keene, New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Ever. Or eat food from the grocery stores. I'm going to bring all my food from out of state.
Yeah.
Just to be safe.
Yeah, be careful if you're heading to New Hampshire. You live in New Hampshire.
That's a dangerous area there, New Hampshire.
Yeah,
apparently.
something's happening out there. All right, well, there you go, folks. 2 odd news stories for the price of one.
It's a twofer. It's an upper decker.
Dear God. Chuck Woolery, 2 for 2 in this odd news story for this week. There you go. That is all the news that we can cram into an hour-long or hour-and-a-half-long podcast. So thank you guys for joining us for the ride. If you enjoyed the show and like what you heard, make sure you go to our website, thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure you follow us on social media, but most importantly, make sure you have a way to get the podcast sent to you every week. We have 2 main ways to do that. First one is on YouTube. Go to our YouTube page, Crispy Noodle Podcast, and hit that subscribe button so that you get the podcast sent to you every week. No matter when it goes out, you'll get a notification on your YouTube account, and you can listen to it. You can even watch us on TV if you have the YouTube app on TV. So you can even do that if you want to. So that is a fun way to enjoy us on YouTube. Second main way is we put the video podcast up on Spotify. But you can also put Spotify on in the background and listen to us as an audio-only podcast. And using using Android Auto or Apple CarPlay, you can take us on the go with you. So wherever you're traveling, if you're going to Clearwater anytime soon for some reason, because apparently half of our odd news is heading down there, or if you're just driving around, if you're going to Wilmington, going to check out a Blue Rocks game, take us on the go with you using Spotify with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay.
That's right. So many ways to check out the Crispy Noodle Podcast. But if you need to get in touch with us individually to share your sports, entertainment, or odd news stories, you can find us both on Blue Sky. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. Let us know what's happening on Blue Sky, and we'll chat with you. Why not? Give us a shout out. But for right now, we got to wrap it up. This has been the Crispy Noodle Podcast. Let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. That'll do it. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys.
Later. Bye-bye, all you fine peoples. Good night.
Some of us have great stories, pretty stories that take place at lakes with boats and friends and noodle salad. A lot of people, that's their story. Good times, noodle salad.